All right, folks, gather round. Once upon a time, long time ago, way back when the world was basically fresh out of the box, there was this country where nights were pitch black. I mean, we're talking no moon, no stars, just pure, unadulterated darkness. The sky was like a giant, grumpy blanket pulled over the entire land. People were practically tripping over their own feet. It was a real bummer. One fine day, or probably a dark night, who knows? 4 young fellas from this eternally dark land decided, you know what? Let's take a road trip. So they ventured out, hit the highway, and eventually rolled into another kingdom. And holy moly, what did they see? After the sun clocked out for the day, there was this soft, glowing orb hanging out in an ancient oak tree. It lit up the whole darn country. Not blinding like the sun, but enough to see everything clearly. Like a giant, celestial nightlight. Our 4 country bumpkins stopped dead in their tracks, mouths agape. They flagged down a farmer driving a horse-drawn cart and asked, "Hey, buddy, what in tarnation is that glowing thing?" The farmer, bless his heart, calmly replied, "Oh, that's just the moon. Our village elder bought it for $3 and hung it up there. Every day he has to refill its oil and wipe off the soot so it burns nice and steady. He gets paid $1 a week for his troubles." Once the farmer was out of earshot, one of the travelers piped up, "Whoa, a lamp like that? We totally need one back home. We've got an ancient oak tree just begging for some decor. Imagine, no more stumbling around in the dark." The second guy, clearly the schemer of the group, chimed in, "You know what, guys? These folks can just buy another one. Let's grab the wagon and the horses and snag this moon right now." The third fella, boasting, "I'm a pro tree climber. I'll go get it down." The fourth guy, ever the practical one, brought the wagon and horses over. So the third guy scurried up the tree, drilled a hole clean through the moon, threaded a rope, and gently lowered it down. Once the sparkling orb was safely loaded onto the wagon, they covered it with a cloth. Gotta keep it on the down low, right? And hightailed it out of there with their new luminous prize. They hauled the moon back to their homeland without a hitch and hung it proudly on top of their tallest oak. Suddenly, light flooded the fields, the houses, the streets. Everyone, from the young to the old, cheered their heads off. Little tiny gnomes came scurrying out of their caves to bask in the glow, and out on the meadows, the mischievous goblins, all decked out in their best clothes, started holding hands and dancing in circles. Their country was basically having a giant, spontaneous glow-in-the-dark party. As for our 4 benefactors, they diligently refilled the moon's oil and wiped away the soot every day. And of course, they collected their weekly pay like clockwork. Life was good, bathed in the gentle glow of their new moon. But as the years rolled by, our 4 heroes started getting old. When the first guy fell ill and knew his time was up, he made a dying wish. "I want a quarter of the moon to go down with me to the underworld." So, after he passed, the village elder climbed the tree, grabbed his pruning shears, snipped off a quarter of the moon, and placed it in the coffin. The moon wasn't quite as bright, but honestly, not many people noticed. Then the second guy kicked the bucket, and another quarter of the moon went with him. Now, the moon was noticeably dimmer. But wait, there's more. When the third guy passed, another quarter was sliced off and buried. The moon was now barely a flicker. Finally, when the fourth guy went to his grave, the last quarter was taken down and buried with him. And just like that, nights were back to being pitch black, just like in the good old, bad old days. People had to carry lanterns again, or risk headbutting each other in the dark. But here's where it gets wild. Down in the underworld, which was usually as dark as a coal mine, those 4 pieces of the moon reassembled into a shining orb. Its light wasn't blinding like the sun, but a soft, gentle glow, perfect for the perpetually dim eyes of the underworld inhabitants. They started stirring, then woke up from their eternal slumber, probably because the light was too much for their beauty sleep. They stretched, yawned, and suddenly got all cheerful, picking up their old routines. Some started gambling all night long. Others were dancing like it was 1999, and a whole bunch more hit the taverns, demanding drinks. Once they got tipsy, they started arguing like crazy, making a ruckus that echoed throughout the region. Then came the grand finale. They pulled out their beggars' sticks and started beating the snot out of each other. The noise from the arguing and brawling grew louder and louder, echoing all the way up to heaven. St. Peter, the dude guarding the pearly gates, heard the incredible commotion. He thought, "Holy smokes, there's a riot brewing down in the underworld." So he blew his trumpet, sounded the alarm, and gathered the heavenly troops, just in case those unruly folks from below decided to storm the gates. But he waited and waited, and no one showed up. Finally, St. Peter, probably fed up, hopped on his horse and zoomed through the gates of heaven straight down to the underworld. He quickly broke up the party, ordering everyone to go back to your graves, pronto. Once the chaos was contained, St. Peter, being the practical guy he is, grabbed the moon and took it back to heaven with him. And that, my friends, is why the moon hangs in the sky today, looking exactly like it does. It's the result of a story that's equal parts hilarious, bizarre, featuring some light-deprived people, and an underworld rave that nobody, especially St. Peter, will ever forget. That's for our moon. Let's bell for new stories.